Welcome along to our big match preview and backed by Ladbrokes for the season. Remember, you can get yourself £20 by betting yourself a fiver with your first bet. Sign up with the link in the description to get involved. T's and C's apply. This weekend, Saints on the TV once again this Sunday away at Brighton and Hove Albion. But let's start briefly on last weekend's performance. Just how much confidence does it give our win? Does it give the players after that win against West Brom? Yoshida and Davis publicly have admitted that the manager, and have praised the manager, that he's got the tactics absolutely right. Start off you, Nick.
Well, it's got to give us some confidence. I don't think particularly from the performance, but the fact that we put 3 points on the board, won a game, and it means we're not looking over our shoulders so much. So if we'd have only had a draw on Saturday, we'd have been looking very much backwards. So don't think the performance is going to be a lot more confident because of it, but I do think because of the result, and results are what matters in this league.
I think Saints did most things right on Saturday. I think they worked like how West Brom was so well organised. They clearly came for a point, and what it does more than anything is put smiles on people's faces. It just lifted the mood, and it was so out of keeping. The goal was so out of keeping with the game, but it's one of those things, it could change a season around. Everybody's been down in the dumps about things and very negative about, you know, poor old Fraser's getting it in the net from people with their sarcastic cheering. I don't know what's up with some people, really. You know, he's going through a hard time. He's our goalkeeper. What do they think they're going to achieve by sarcastically applauding him when he makes a save?
Totally agree with you, Clive. You know, you read some of these markings that people give on social media, and you'd have thought that Fraser Forster had dived over 2 shots, we'd lost 3-0, and he punched the other one in. I mean, he did what he had to do on Saturday. He had 2 things really which were highlighted. One was a cross which he dropped, but he got it out the danger area and it was cleared. And the other thing was the shot they had on target where he got back, tipped it over the bar, which he did. So it wasn't a bad performance from Fraser Forster, but people were quick to jump on his back. And as you say, I don't know why. What does he do?
And I think also the booing of Redmond when he came on. Now, I didn't particularly agree with that substitution at the time. I thought other players could have come on first, but the manager sees fit to make that change. I mean, booing your own player at home before he's even kicked the ball? Really? Is there something wrong with people? Is this, you know, I understand the frustration. I understand we haven't scored the goals. I understand the football's lethargic. But it's our team out there. We're playing a vital game against a team that's almost on an identical record. And so, thankfully, we got that goal out of nowhere from a player that was brought on by the manager. It worked for him this time. He had that little bit of luck at the start of the run where the ball fell for him and he was in a forward motion. And from there, it was amazing what happened. And let's give them credit. You know, they've done something right. And I think, as I said at the start of this, Saints did most things right in that game. We're at the crossroads now. This is such a vital part of the season. We know these games are games where Saints want to be picking up points to take the pressure off. And it's so important that we do. We've got 4 points from the home games. Everyone would have loved 6, but 4 isn't bad. Can we build on it with Brighton?
Well, we have to talk about that goal at the weekend. A pure piece of magic from Sofiane Boufal. You know, as Nick mentioned in the interview, the Moroccan Messi, surely he has to start on Sunday.
I'm still not sure that he has to start, in the fact that, you know, is he a 90-minute player? And that's the proof, you know, at the moment. But, you know, I think what we've got to do is we've got to get a formation that is set up to play to our strengths. I mean, Redmond has not had a good time. Tadic is getting a lot of stick. And people seem to be blaming them for the lack of goals. But in my mind, Pellegrino prefers to play with a smaller forward, Long or Gabbiadini, in a more European style. But he's still been playing wingers. Now, if we'd have had Pella up front, Tadic and Redmond would have been perfect because they could cross balls. But at the moment, they're playing to players that haven't, you know, are not big in the, not great in the air. Long's not bad in the air, but he's not tall. And they're having to either bung balls in which they, you know, big centre halves just clear, or keep checking back and try and find the ball, the killer ball, when they know they can get it to the player. And it's just not good. And that, you know, for my mind, we do all the right things, but at the moment we're caught between a rock and a hard place. We play two wingers, but we play a small forward. We really need to either throw in someone like Austin, I think, up front and chuck the ball across for him, or we need to refine how we play, which is very difficult because the only player perhaps we've got who could do that, apart from perhaps Boufal, is Ward-Prowse. He's the only passer of the ball in the midfield.
The signs for Boufal are positive. When he came on against Newcastle, he made a positive impact, and obviously he scored the game this week. He is a confidence player, and he can, you know, with what he's got, we all know he's got that ability to go past people, but it's all about doing things in the right areas. And if you get him doing things in the right areas, he can be a big threat. And I think that's a real positive for Saints to take forward.
Well, as Nick mentioned there, you know, we've got some wingers. The Amex is particularly has a wide pitch. So our wingers in Tadic, Long, you know, Redmond as well can be really useful there on Sunday. However, Brighton flying after that 3-0 win away at West Ham, it's going to be difficult.
All the promoted teams have done well, haven't they? And they're making a real fist of it. So I'm not expecting anything easy. I'm really looking forward to this because outside of Saints against Pompey, I think this is the biggest derby because for all the goodwill in the world, Bournemouth are not really they haven't got really much football pedigree from the past. Their support base is very small. Brighton is similar to ourselves, a bit like a regional team that gets people coming in from all the outlying areas, a bit like Norwich, a bit like us, Ipswich, that sort of team. And we all remember the derbies from the 70s. They were juicy, really niggly affairs, and they had a real spicy atmosphere to them. So I'm really looking forward to this Sunday.
So let's wrap things up then with the predictions on the table. Only 1 point separates us. 12 points, play 11. Nick, what are you going for?
Yeah, 1-0 to Saints.
Clive?
I'm going for 2-1. And I want the fans to make a difference because Brighton have got, like the same as I said before with Newcastle, because they've come up from the Championship, they've got all that enthusiasm, and at their ground they make a hell of a din. So I think the 3,000 we've got Saints fans can make a difference on Sunday, hopefully Sunday, and you know, really get behind the team, because sometimes a smaller amount of fans committed is far more effective than a capacity ground who just want to moan. So I think the 3,000, I'm really looking to them to make that atmosphere on Sunday and see us win the 3 points.
All right, so let's wrap it up there then. Don't forget to leave us your predictions for the big match in the comments below. Sunday lunchtime kickoff. Leave us your likes, your comments, and subscribe for more.